We're counting down the minutes to the first pitch of today's game.
Yes!
Who's in the starting lineup?
Come on, son. You got to get out there and take the mound. It's game time.
What does the skipper have to say?
It's an attitude. You got to be willing to defend. You got to be willing to base run, or you can't play here.
It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wortz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome into the Leadoff Show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Milwaukee Brewers back in action today. The rubber match in Boston, as it'll be Shane Drowan going for his first appearance in Major League Baseball, his MLB debut against one of the most storied franchises, one that drafted him and one that traded him this past offseason. He'll be going up against Sonny Gray, new face, different place. 12:35 first pitch from Fenway Park, game number 12 on the season. Let's see what the lineup looks like today for the Brewers.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Thanks to Lakeland University for being a part of the Leadoff Show. Experience it your way, lakeland.edu. First up for Boston, leading things off in left field today, it'll be Roman Anthony. Now old friend Andrew Monasterio getting the start at shortstop. He will bat second. Wilson Contreras will bat third, play first base today. Wilyer Abreu in right field will bat fourth. Trevor Story is the DH, batting fifth. Caleb Durbin at third base will bat sixth. Carlos Narvaez is catching, batting seventh today. Cedane Rafaela in center field will bat eighth. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, second baseman, rounds things out for Boston. Now for the Milwaukee Brewers. Sal Frelick in right field will lead things off. Garrett Mitchell in center field will bat second. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat third. Jake Bauers at first base bats fourth today. Gary Sanchez is catching, batting fifth. Luis Rengifo at third base will bat sixth. Brandon Lockridge is in left field today, batting seventh. David Hamilton at second base will bat eighth today. Rounding things out for the Crew, the shortstop, batting ninth, Joey Ortiz. Well, as you heard maybe on the tail end of 9 to noon, and by reading off the lineup there, Bryce Terang out yet another day for the Milwaukee Brewers. However, seems like it's nothing to fret about just quite yet. We have some updates coming here from Kurt Hogue about an hour ago, saying that Bryce Terang says he's dealing with some tendonitis in his left ankle, and he anticipates being back in the lineup on Friday. All right. So no IL stint is expected from Mr. Terang, as he's been out of the lineup now for 2 days. And David Hamilton will assume the role of second base today in place of Bryce Terang. Shane Drowan making his MLB debut, of course, coming over in the trade for Boston, with two names now in Boston's lineup today, and Caleb Durbin, Andrew Monasterio, and Kyle Harrison, Shane Drowan, David Hamilton all coming back. You can throw in Anthony Siegler. We forgot to bring him up as well, going to Boston in that. But excited to see what Shane Drowan can do in his big league debut. He had one outing this year in AAA Nashville, 3 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. Shane Drowan, left-handed pitcher, going to make his first ever start in the big leagues. Excited to see that indeed. Let's go over yesterday. It'll be a pretty quick one, as it was kind of uneventful.
Did you miss the last game? Did you miss what was said after the last game? It's time to rewind. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Jacob Mizorowski versus Garrett Crochet, a pitcher's duel to the nth degree, as Jacob Mizorowski made that very apparent early in this one. His first inning sounded like this.
Struck him out. Curveball in the outer half. Strikeout number 1 for Mizorowski. Got him. Back-to-back Ks for Miz. He's bringing the flames tonight. Pitch. Got him looking. 3 strikeouts and a perfect inning from Jacob Mizorowski, and he is fired up as he goes to the dugout at Fenway.
Brewers offense did not have much going in this one. Neither did Boston, quite frankly. Just 8 hits combined in the game between the two teams. However, in the 6th inning, that's when Jacob Mizorowski found himself in some trouble. He struck out Roman Anthony. That was his 10th strikeout of the day to start the inning off. Then I issued a walk to the next 3 batters, Duran, Contreras, and Abreu. DL Hall would come in. That's when Trevor Story would double and bring home 2 runs. Caleb Durbin would ground out, bring home the 3rd run of the inning. That was all Boston would get. That was all Boston would need. However, the Brewers tried to battle back in the most Brewer fashion possible, getting runs in the bottom of the 7th. David Hamilton up with the bases loaded.
And he hit him. That's going to drive in a run. And it's a 3-1 ball game. That's one way to do it.
Another way to do it is how Christian Yelich did it, the next man up.
Yelich checks on Durbin. He slips and falls out there, safe at first. A run scores. It's 3-2.
I don't know how Caleb Durbin came up with this ball. It's a pretty good play on a hot shot over to him by Christian Yelich on a 2-2 pitch.
Yes, 3-2 after 7. That would be the final. Brewers pretty uncompetitive in the 9th inning with a flyout from Luis Matos. Sal Frelick drew a walk, and then swinging at the very first pitch to ground out into a double play to end the game was Blake Perkins. The Brewers now 8-3 on the season. It is the first loss of the year for Jacob Mizorowski. However, again, just didn't feel like he earned it until that 6th inning. 5 1/3, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 10 Ks, 4 walks is a large number for sure for the Miz. But again, I thought through 5 innings, that was maybe some of the best stuff we have seen out of the young phenom. After the game was over, Jacob Mizorowski speaking to the media on his performance. You can tell, obviously not thrilled about the loss for the team. And there was a question or two about Wilson Contreras.
Guys, let's just start with the first 5 innings and the fastball and the curveball command that you had today. Kind of what was the game plan coming into tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the game plan was to pound the zone, and I feel like, the first 5 I did it. Felt good.
What about that first inning? The 3 strikeouts, just kind of how did that help you settle in?
Yeah, I mean, that helped a lot. I mean, I think it helped, getting the Ks. I mean, it always helps. So it was good.
Murph said in that 6th inning that maybe you shared that your legs got a little heavy. Can you share what you were feeling as that inning went on?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you could tell that, it wasn't all there. And, first strikeout I got and, kind of felt it after that. So, it is what it is.
What can you take away from feeling that, kind of how you worked through it?
I mean, figure it out. I mean, that's the whole thing, just keep going with it and, trust that, the mechanics is going to bring me back. And I was trying to overcompensate and do something different than I was.
When you're early in the season and you're still building the endurance, does that come on quickly?
No.
I don't mean the endurance, but that feeling where all of a sudden it's a little bit, the fatigue, does it come on quickly?
No.
The camera showed you fired up after striking out Contreras early. What were the emotions of that moment?
I'm going to give you one answer and you see it. So, that's all I'm going to say.
As you went fastball heavy early, kind of flipped to the curveball second time through. Just take me through that adjustment and how you feel you executed those curves that second time.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I'm going to show that the fastball's there and they got to catch up to it. And, they started catching up to it. And, it's part of the game plan is to, flip to the secondary stuff and, trust that that's going to help progress me forward.
Can you sort of take us through trying to make the adjustment on the fly when the legs are gone a little bit and you're kind of missing the glove side a lot in that 6th?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, one of the most important things for me is staying in the legs. It's just a part of it. You got to figure it out. So, it's just one of those things that you got to keep going and try and compensate for the legs not being there and, get the ball in zone.
There is Jacob Mizorowski speaking to the media after the game. Brewers lose 3-2, 8-3 on the season. Still one of the best records in the National League. The Dodgers sit at 9-2, and the Cincinnati Reds also tied of 8-3. And everyone complaining about it. Hey, Guess what? Brewers are done with interleague play for the time being. They would start their first 12 games of the season against American League opponents. On Friday, they will travel back to Milwaukee and a 3-game series with the Nationals. Great. Yeah. And then the Blue Jays come to town. So they're right back to the American League play immediately after following it. And then they get the Marlins and then the Tigers right back after that. How is there so much American League play in the first month of the year? But excited to see Milwaukee in the rubber match today. Shane Drowan, we're going to hear from him on the other side from a couple of days ago, talking about getting his opportunity in the big leagues here. Of course, this pushes back Chad Patrick. Looking over at the Brewers' probable pitchers for the upcoming series against Washington, Chad Patrick is slated to be the first starter in that game. Brandon Sproat for game 2 and Kyle Harrison in game 3. So just having Shane Drowan pop in for a quick one. Not sure what it means, if he's competing for a spot in this 5, if they're moving into a 6, whatever happens now, it will be the debut of Shane Drowan, and we will hear from him next. We still got Pat Murphy pregame to get to as well here. Catch up around the minor leagues with our Building a Winner feature, and keys to the game all going to happen here as we're going to go up to about 12:40 today, just around first pitch, maybe a little after. Mitch Nellis will join us near the tail end of the show as we transition into the Mason Crosby show after this. All right. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Brewers lineup, in case you missed it earlier in the program. Sal Frelick in right field will lead things off. Garrett Mitchell in center field will bat second. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat third. Jake Bauers in the cleanup spot playing first base today. Gary Sanchez behind the dish will bat fifth. Luis Rengifo at third base will bat sixth. Brandon Lockridge in left field bats seventh today. David Hamilton is at second base, however. He will bat eighth, and rounding things out at shortstop, it is Joey Ortiz. Talked about it. Shane Drowan making his big league debut. He has one outing this year where he went 3 1/3, had 2 earned runs, struck out 6 batters with AAA Nashville. However, last year with AAA Worcester, he had a 2.27 ERA, made 11 starts for the Boston's AAA affiliate. He ended up with 47 innings worth of work as well, struck out 67 batters in that time. He made the jump from high A Salem all the way to AAA Worcester last year with the Boston Red Sox, and he spoke just a couple of days ago when he got the news he was going to be called up. Here is Shane Drowan on making his big league debut and the excitement that comes with that against his former team.
Just what's your reaction to coming up and here you are of all places?
Just excitement. I really probably wasn't expecting it, but sometimes surprises are the best thing. So just excited. Get to call my parents. They were actually in Nashville at the time. So that was cool. They kind of just pivoted to up here, but just excited.
That surprise, is it because you don't have to sit and stew on it and think about it? You just go?
Yeah, it was kind of just, I was really just kind of focused where I was. We had a rain out Saturday in Nashville, and then they said no doubleheader Sunday, so I'd gotten bumped to Tuesday in Gwinnett. So I'd kind of just thrown a touch and feel Sunday just to kind of stay in the routine, and then afterwards I was in the weight room doing some stuff, and they pulled me in and told me. So it was just kind of just focus on where you are, and wherever they send you, just go up there and do your thing.
Is there a fancy way?
There was not. No, there was not. It was just you're going up, flights at 5:45. I was like, that's all I needed.
Rick told you?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your parents' names?
Bill and Dara.
And they're here.
Yep, they're here.
Shane, have you been here before?
Yeah, I have. I actually played here when I was in college. We played Boston College here on a Saturday, and then this past January I was up here for the Red Sox rookie development, so I get to throw. It was still a football field at the time, but and it was freezing. But not my first time.
How do you assess your start at Nashville at the beginning of the year?
It was a weird one. It was honestly pretty frustrating because all the the reports that we get back, I was kind of checking the right boxes. Like I was getting ahead of guys, getting to 2 strikes well. It was just I wasn't placing the put-away pitches in the right spots, which it wasn't anything, I lost sleep over or didn't feel like I could fix. I felt like it was an easy fix in that bullpen a couple days later. Just kind of changed the eyesight or whatever it is. But I felt like the pillars that you needed to be successful were there. It was just coming down to executing when it mattered most.
If you were to make your debut here, what would that mean? Would it mean anything extra, anything special?
I mean, not really. It's just pitching in the big leagues. It's just always been the goal. I was never really worried about what uniform I was wearing. I just wanted the ball in the big leagues, and that's what it'll be.
What do you feel like you've shown these guys so far?
I think that I've just shown them that I'm just consistent in my work. I'm going to show up every day and, be the same guy and just stay focused on, my process of being a good pitcher and continuing to, sharpen all the swords that I have in my weapons room, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's just the constant, daily work of just trying to get better each day.
What do you feel like was the biggest feedback you got at spring training as the coaching staff was getting to know you and kind of their feedback for you?
I think it was just them, really reiterating that I am a big leaguer. It might not, the timing might have not been exactly how I wanted to, but they were like, "You're a big leaguer. You're going to be a part of this staff. You have the stuff." So it was just that. It was just a good feeling to hear, you're going to be one of our guys this year, and just keep your head down, keep working, and when the call comes, be ready.
There is Shane Drowan. The call did come. It is for today, making his big league debut in Boston at Fenway Park against the Boston Red Sox, the team that drafted him, the team that traded him this offseason. Coming up on the other side, we'll do a little eye on the enemy report. How have the Brewers fared against Sonny Gray in the past? That's coming up on the other side of the top of the hour. We have pregame Pat Murphy. That's always a trip. We'll play that for you guys as well. And of course, get you some of the keys to the game and the betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook coming up later on in the program. Going until about 12:40 today as we transition from the leadoff show into the Mason Crosby show with Mitch Thunder Nellis. Mike Wickett. Yeah, you remember that name on these airways. He's going to join the program at 1 o'clock for that show. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Both lineups, in case you missed it earlier in the show today. For Boston, Roman Anthony leading things off. He's in left field. Andrew Monasterio, the shortstop, will bat second. Wilson Contreras at first base will bat third. Wilyer Abreu in right field in the cleanup role for Boston today. Trevor Story, the DH, will bat fifth. Caleb Durbin at third base will bat sixth. Carlos Narvaez, the catcher, bats seventh for the Red Sox. Cedane Rafaela is the center fielder, batting eighth. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at second base will bat ninth. Now, for the Brewers, Sal Frelick in the leadoff role today. He's in right field. Garrett Mitchell will bat second in center field. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat third. Jake Bowers is cleaning up. He's at first base. Gary Sanchez is the catcher, batting fifth. Luis Rengifo at third base will bat sixth. Brandon Lockridge in left field today, batting seventh, batting eighth. At second base, it'll be David Hamilton in for Bryce Terang. And rounding things out, the shortstop, batting ninth, Joey Ortiz.
Nobody likes them.
Craig Counsell returning to American Family Field.
We all want to see them lose.
It's not my job to tell people how to feel about something, or even to figure it out. Let people feel how they want to feel, and I'm good with that, and I think it doesn't have to be all positive.
It's time to eye up the enemy for today's game. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Tough to do a full eye on the enemy report when the Brewers are sending out Shane Drowan for his major league debut. However, on the other side, Boston pitching Sonny Gray. This will be his 21st start against the Milwaukee Brewers. He is 5-6 with a career ERA of 3.52, 139 strikeouts against the Milwaukee Brewers in about 110 innings. Sonny Gray last year made 4 starts as a member of the St. Louis Cardinals against the Milwaukee Brewers. His last outing, he went 6 innings. He struck out 7. He did not, however, he allowed 1 run, rather, in that performance. 2 runs in outing, 6 runs, and 3 runs. Those are the ones to look at from last year with Sonny Gray against this Brewers team. The career batting average and looking at the appearances versus Sonny Gray, Sal Frelick is 3 for 17 with a homer. Garrett Mitchell's 1 for 3. Christian Yelich, 31 at-bats against Sonny Gray. He's got 8 hits. That's good for a 258 batting average. Jake Bowers hitting 375 with a homer, 6 for 16 against Sonny Gray in his career. Joey Ortiz, 4 for 16, has a homer as well. A lot of experience. Brandon Lockridge, David Hamilton, the only 2 men to have not seen Sonny Gray in any capacity at the big league level.
The key to building a winner in baseball is a strong minor league system. Who are the names we should know? How did they play in their last game? It's time for Building a Winner. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Yes, time for another Building a Winner feature right here on the leadoff show. A lot of news to get to here as we had full minor league action. Yes, all 4 teams going for the Milwaukee Brewers. Feels like we have not said that enough this year, whether it's been rain delays or off days. But now we can finally say, hey, everyone in action. We can talk about them all. And let's start at the top level, Nashville.
Nashville sounds.
Nashville lost yesterday to the Gwinnett Stripers 4-1. Jet Williams was 1 for 4 with the lone RBI in the game. And just 2 hits in the entire game for the Sounds. The other one in this contest coming from Ethan Murray. There's 0 for 3 performance from Cooper Pratt, 0 for 3 from Caro. Luke Adams, no hit. Brock Wilkin was in this lineup. And Luis Lara, 0 for 4 as well. However, Lara, he's got a 910 OPS. He's off to the hottest start so far at the AAA level for the Brewers. Nashville will be back in action today as they will take on Gwinnett at 5:35, and it'll be Garrett Stallings on the bump for the Sounds.
Biloxi Shuckers.
Yeah, the Biloxi Shuckers were playing yesterday against the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Dylan O'Ray, 2 hits in the game. Jesus Madej as well, picking up an RBI single. Walked 3 times. Madej, 1.005 OPS in the first 4 games. The entire lineup at the top part of this, whether it's Blake Burke, Damon Keith, Mike Bovey, all of them over at 1,000 OPS. Those names, the first 5 men, and even Darian Miller as one, batting 8th right now for the team. Blake Burke been on an absolute tear, 4 homers in 4 games so far this season.
And one on Sunday in the series finale as part of back-to-back home runs. Here's the 1-0. He swings and drives it. Left field, Jones is back, warning track wall, spins around and it's gone. 4 hits, 4 homers, it's 1-0.
Yeah, keep doing that, Blake Burke, leading Double-A in homers. Obviously, the Biloxi Shuckers back today as they'll take on Pensacola in game number 5. Manuel Rodriguez getting the start for Double-A Biloxi.
Wisconsin Timber Rattlers.
Timber Rattlers, they won 6-0. Braylon Payne, 2 hits. Luis Pena, 2 hits. Marco Dinges was 1 for 3 as they took on the Quad City River Band. It's just the 3rd game of the year for the T-Rats. Andrew Fisher picked up 2 RBIs and a base knock in the game. Josh Adamczewski walked twice as well as Eric Batanti picked up a hit in one of his 4 ABs. You got to go watch this Timber Rattlers team. I saw an article saying that they're one of the 8 most exciting teams to go watch in minor league baseball with a bunch of top 100 prospects, and they're back in action today. That game at 6:30. Jason Woodard on the bump for High A Wisconsin. And the Wilson Warbirds, they lost yesterday 10-2. Looking at a couple of names, Brady Abel, 0 for 5. Keep an eye out for Jaden Fielder. He's at the Wilson Warbirds level this year, son of Brewers great Prince, obviously. And Filippo Dituri, he's been off to the hottest start, 984 OPS through the first 4 games of the season.
Line drive, base hit, down the left field line.
Let's see what the skipper has to say heading into today's game. Let's head to the Coach's Corner. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Always play you guys some of Pat Murphy from before the game. Got some pregame sound to get to from the manager. Excited to hear what Murph had to say about the ball club. Getting ready for game 3 in Boston. Shane Drowan, Sonny Gray. Here he is, Pat Murphy, before the rubber match at Fenway.
You talking about Shane Drowan? When you sat with him in the spring, do you remember what your impressions were?
Yeah, man. It's pretty exciting. He threw the ball well. Seems like a kid that just needs his chance. You know, this is a great story. Being Rule 5 by the White Sox and then sent back, injury. You know, I'm really excited for him. It's a fun time.
What from the stuff impressed you most or stood out to you most?
Yeah, he's around the zone, and his breaking ball seems to be a weapon. Limited view video of him before AAA. You know, it's not like he's a 22-year-old rookie. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. I like these stories even better than the young guys.
He said that, you know, the feedback from you guys that meant a lot was just that you guys kind of validated that he is a big leaguer. He's close. He's going to pitch. You know, you lead with that message a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the room in Milwaukee Brewers spring training, you're probably going to pitch in the big leagues. if you're a pitcher in that room, because we use a lot. We try not to overuse our guys, but the pitching injuries in today's world are real. It's a concern of everyone. How to stop it, how to prevent it, how to get ahead of it. All that is being thoroughly researched by every team and by Major League Baseball. It's a very big concern. So to think that you're only going to use 15 pitchers in a year is just not realistic anymore.
Murphy, Robert Gasser doesn't appear on like the report we get when there's injuries. Can you tell us what you know about?
Yeah, after that last outing, threw the ball so well, it was more muscular. They felt like it was really more muscular and not anything physical. So they're just going to build it back a little slower as of right now.
Muscular and what muscle?
Yeah, I think it was more like his tricep, bicep soreness. They weren't concerned. First look, that's from our people.
Is Quinn going to stay in Arizona? He's not going to meet us at home, right?
No, he's going to throw a live BP tomorrow or Friday, 2 ups and a live BP on Friday. And then the next thing after that, if all goes well, then we're going to get him into facing hitters in one of the AZL games. And then see where we're at, maybe another one of those, and then send them out for assignment.
Does Gasser have a
scheduled
game to throw or a side?
It's a side coming.
This week?
Yeah, I believe actually soon. I don't know the exact date. But.
Soon. We got to spin a bit. Soon. I like that.
Yeah, bringing it back. The oldies.
Murph, you brought up walks earlier today, of just the number of walks you guys have collected as a group. How has that been part of the traffic and the run production?
Yeah, I mean it's part of offensive baseball. Like you have to be willing to take walks, and in today's environment, especially the better players, today's environment, you got to force them to come to you. And the whole principle, it's been around for a million years. You look at the greatest hitters in the game that's ever had, and then you look at the top 10 walk list. None of those guys are bad players. All those guys are great players. So the great players have to understand that they've got to take their walks. Other players, it goes well for them too. But it's the great players that get pitched a little tougher sometimes. So we're trying to ball strike it as much as we can.
Swing decisions have impressed you most?
Oh, Hamilton is, obviously.
So you can't say Yelich.
He's always had it good. Yeah. Yelich and Bryce. I mean, he's taken 9 walks, and he's a swinger. And that's the thing about walks. People kind of don't clearly understand. It doesn't mean you're not aggressive. You're just not. You're not willing to swing at the edges sometimes. And Bryce has done a nice job of it. And that was a concern, that he understood that people aren't. The word's out. He's a good hitter.
On that trade with the Red Sox that got you Drone and Harrison and Hamilton, outside there was a big surprise about that because Durbin's a young guy, controllable, third and rookie of the year. Was there any part of that surprised you, like when they first brought up the idea of?
Yeah, it hurt me. It hurt me when I heard it being rumored. We obviously, I'm lucky enough where the front office talks to me and informs me and asks my opinion on it. And at first I'm like, no way, it would be like Sal, you know what I mean? Like, no. When they talk about the whole package, I didn't know David Hamilton. I didn't have him. Heard the reputation, but didn't know about him. And even when we got him back, I wasn't sure about Hamilton, but doing the research on Drone and Harrison, I felt like, okay, we need some pitching depth. We're very, very young. We need some pitching, you know. So while it was very, very difficult to let go, because I knew what Derbs meant to us, it's kind of not measurable and kind of like, yeah, it's actually personal. You know what I mean? It gets kind of personal. But you have to be able to make good decisions for the organization.
I mean, it makes me think back to when you first got Durkin at Devin Williams Street. You did a call with us, and you were telling us about seeing him in the fall league and how much you loved him. This is way before he ever was a Brewer.
Yeah.
So, like, you have, even though he was only here for a year, you have history.
Yeah.
Just liking the guy.
Yeah. I mean,
Mark, with the new guys, how much of your evaluation just comes from when you actually get them in the room, right? Because I feel like you really like to
I didn't know
get
Hammy.
to know guys.
Yeah, I didn't know Hammy until I saw him respond to some of my crap, and you know, and I saw him just take in. Hey, what do you guys need from me? You know, what would you guys like? You know, I'll do anything. You know, players today don't come with that. It was special. Yeah, he hadn't worked out at second base, you know, in a while, and goes out last night and makes 2 great plays. Yeah, it's been terrific. On base, that's my thing with him. You know, get on base, and then he can cause havoc.
Did you find that there's less of that in today's game of players coming up and saying, "What do you need from me?"
I think so. Yeah, I think it's going to get better. I think we're in a generation, especially with these elite athletes. They're really good people. Look at the guy that the Red Sox have. You know what I mean? Roman Anthony. Like, you can just tell he's the right dude. You know what I mean? You can just tell. And it's exciting. Look at Bobby Witt Jr. Look at these guys that are taking the league. The kid from the Pirates looks like just an incredible kid. You know, Skeens. You know, well, these are just great people that are elite. So it's exciting.
There is some of manager Pat Murphy before today's game, talking about the young future ahead, a little bit about Shane Drowan. Pat Murphy getting ready for Brewers Red Sox game 3, as it'll be Shane Drowan making his big league debut, going up against Sonny Gray, 21st outing against the Milwaukee Brewers. Most of those, of course, coming up against Milwaukee via when he was on the Cardinals and the Reds. First start ever was actually as an Oakland A against them back in 2016. 10 years Sonny Gray's been pitching against the Brewers. Crazy to think about it that way. All right. On the other side, Mitch Thunder Nellis going to join us as we'll start to transition over from talking about Brewers baseball here on the leadoff show and get you caught up and ready to go for the Mason Crosby show, which will go until 2:00. Make sure you stick around. Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. He's going to be on from 2 to 3:30 today. And then at 3:30, after the last pitch, make the switch to the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show. Tim Allen, myself, will be breaking down Brewers Red Sox game 3, taking your calls, getting you sound from the manager, all the other players in the action today. Can't wait for that. And then, again, we're back to an off day on Thursday. Crazy. Feels like there's an off day. Awfully lots, because there is one every week until June starts. So few months until we can have just 7 days straight of Brewers baseball. All right, let's do that. We'll wrap up the leadoff show on the other side from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Looking up, and it is gone.
It's almost time for the first pitch. Let's see who's in today's starting lineups. Brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back to the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Both lineups, in case you missed it before first pitch, about 10 minutes or so away. Roman Anthony in left field will lead things off. Andrew Monasterio is the shortstop, will bat second. Wilson Contreras, the first baseman, bats third. Wilyer Abreu in right field will bat fourth today. Trevor Story, the DH, will bat fifth for the Red Sox, while Caleb Durbin at third base will bat sixth. Carlos Narvaez behind the dish, batting seventh. Zidane Rafaela is in center field, batting eighth. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the second baseman, bats ninth. Now for the Brewers, Sal Frelick in right field to lead off. Garrett Mitchell in center field will bat second. Christian Yelich, the DH, will bat third. Jake Bowers at first base bats fourth today. Gary Sanchez, the catcher, will bat fifth. Luis Rengifo at third base bats sixth. Brandon Lockridge bats seventh, plays left field today. David Hamilton at second base for Bryce Terang, batting eighth. Rounding things out, the shortstop, Joey Ortiz.
At the wall, looking up. See you later.
Let's get the latest on today's odds for the game. What's the best way to go? Let's check in with our expert from the Potawatomi Sportsbook to find out. It's the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and joining us now from the Mason Crosby Show. Maybe you've seen him at a Whitefish Bay varsity softball game.
We start tonight, bro.
Or you can see him there from here on out. Mitch Thunder Nellis. Good morning, Mitch. Good afternoon, actually. Yes.
Opening day. Blue Dukes against my alma mater, the Nicolay Knights.
Oh,
at Maslowski Park in Glendale.
Do you have a split house right now? Are you going to wear like a half Nicolay jersey, half Whitefish Bay jersey kind of thing? No? All right.
I did play baseball for Nicolay for a minute. Great fielder, no bat.
Yeah, I get it.
And my coach, who I run into, who's now the AD at Nicolay or the past AD, he'll agree with that. He'll be like, yep, late inning replacement in the field, could not hit.
In the sixth inning or later, Mitch Nellis was playing a mean left field during that time. Shortstop. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm telling you, my glove was real.
You have a glove.
I just could not hit.
I've seen it in person. Betting odds courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook has the Red Sox favored -139 on the money line today. Brewers, if you look at the run line, Red Sox -1.5 at +155, and the over-under set at 7.5 today.
Take the over.
You got to think with a rookie on the bump, like 7.5 feels like a low number. Although it was a low number yesterday, and Miz and Crochet, the pitching duel, it lived up to the hype. Mitch Nellis.
I think Miz and Crochet were also helped out by Mr. Weather. Mr. Weather helped out last night. It was freezing in Boston.
Why is it so cold there right now?
I don't know. Like, was it cold here like 4 or 5 days ago? Not because usually
it's supposed to get pretty nice, I think, coming up later on.
So we were supposed to play softball last night.
Yeah.
But it was like 35 degrees yesterday. It is beautiful right now. We got weather coming up at 1 o'clock, but I'll give you a little hint. It's already 56 degrees and sunny in Hales Corners.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take the over in the first leg of this parlay today. And then looking at the lineup, how do you feel about the lineup today? Everyone was ticked off about the lineup yesterday, Mitch Nellis.
I mean, listen, that's our job,
Yeah.
right? As fans, it's our job.
I said, I don't know if Sparky in 20 years on the radio has ever been like, I love this lineup. Like,
Right.
I don't think he's ever once said that.
I definitely love lineups from time to time. I like Sal leading off.
Yeah.
I think that's a good spot for him.
Your boy Garrett Mitchell in the 2 spot today.
Yeah, I don't love that as much.
Okay.
Like, I feel like we're heaping too much pressure on him too early. Like, yes, he started off really well. I would take Sal over half a hit.
Over on half a hit.
I think Sal's going to get a knock today.
All right, let's put Sal in the parlay. And
he
then
had one off Crochet yesterday. That I thought had a chance to get down the line. Like, it hung up just a second too long, and so Abreu got to it for a single, but it looked like for a second it might get into that corner.
And just because he's way too high in the lineup and he's playing against the Brewers, I'm going to throw Mona in there as well. All right, because you get better odds if you split up the teams too.
Right.
So
I like splitting up the teams. You think Mona's going to?
I did it with Durbin the other day, and it worked.
That's
I mean,
true. That's
so
true.
over 7.5. Sal Frelick to record a hit, and Andrew Monasterio to record a hit. It's plus 300 today, courtesy of the Potawatomi
$10 to
Sportsbook.
win 30.
Yeah, that's not a bad deal, right?
No, that I don't hate that.
Man, and plus you can head on down over to the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Go watch a Brewers game over there. It is a great time to go watch a game. Whether or not they got the annex open, you can go over there. Otherwise, the Sportsbook, beautiful. And in midday on a Wednesday, it's probably not too crowded. You get awesome service there. Very hospitable. Say hi to Austin Herdina. If you see him over there, he's the manager of this Potawatomi Sportsbook, which he's there.
And he's always looking sharp.
He's always looking sharp. Big guy in a suit, looks fresh every single time. Let's get into one more segment here on the Leadoff Show before we get out of here.
How does the crew win today's game? Who needs to step up? Let's find out with the keys to the game. It's the Leadoff Show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Keys to the game, how we always wrap things up on the Leadoff Show. Looks like Brewers TV coverage just beginning here. Vinny Rottino and Jeff Levering. Those jackets are sick, right, Mitch?
Yes. Yeah, those sleeves are fire.
Yeah, I think
the yellow sleeves with the navy blue midsection.
We should see how we can get some of those, because I want those. I want those for sure. Mitch, I struggle sometimes with keys to the game because it always revolves around the starting pitching. It feels like with the Milwaukee Brewers, but even more so today, a guy like Shane Drowan making his big league debut. I'm excited to see Shane Drowan from what he's done in AAA in the past. His Nashville outing, he did his strikeout thing. He struck out 6 in 3 innings, but he did give up a couple of runs, and he ultimately got pulled in the 4th inning of that game. What are you looking at today for keys to the game between the Brewers and the Red Sox?
Similarly, where I did not like pitching Quinn Priester in Chicago, I thought he would have been much better off pitching game 2 in the playoffs against the Cubs. I don't love pitching Drowan against the Red Sox in Fenway.
Even though it's like a former team,
right? That's why
traded.
I feel like it's almost too much pressure. I would have loved like a home outing against the Marlins or against the Nationals. Like, to me, that would have made more sense. I would have felt a lot more comfortable. I'm not sure. Is Chad Patrick pitching today, or is
Chad Patrick scheduled to pitch on Friday, start the game? So they're just slotting Drowan in for an extra day for everyone, it seems like right now.
Right, but if he can only go 3, what's the plan? Like, I'm a little nervous that
they did not.
Inning situation.
Yesterday, DL Hall did his work, right? He went 2 1/3, and then Jake Woodford just had to come in and clean up for a third of an inning during the game.
Yeah,
so they have a full bullpen today.
Right. All right. I'm a little nervous about that. Did you talk about DL Hall like not doing so great?
I didn't. He gave up the hit, right?
Right.
But
I know Miz loaded the
bases loaded.
He did. That doesn't mean DL Hall had to let all 3 score.
Yeah, I get that.
Not great by either.
Not great by either. And Miz looked phenomenal up until that 6th inning, I thought too.
I think Drowan needs to not suck. And I don't disagree with you that like Drowan will be good. But that doesn't mean he's good today.
Correct.
Right? Like having this start in Boston against your old team in Fenway, I think is a lot of pressure to put on a young kid. The Red Sox do strike out a lot. We saw that yesterday with Mizrowski. If Drowan can stay under control, stay emotionally available, I think it could be okay. I'm just a little nervous that they knock him around early, and then the Brewers have to play catch up again.
Sonny Gray making his 21st appearance against the Milwaukee Brewers of his career. And I'm looking at the guys who have really not much experience against Sonny Gray for today's keys to the game as well.
Yep.
I'm looking at the guys like 6 through 8. I want to look at Rengifo, Lockridge, and Hamilton. Joey Ortiz, he is 4 for 16 against Sonny Gray in his career, does have a long ball, but Lockridge and Hamilton will be the first time they face him. And Luis Rengifo, I don't know if anyone's been the victim of bad luck more than Luis Rengifo has been this year.
But
I don't know. I have to look at
yesterday. That was like I thought was going to be a gapper for sure.
Yes.
It just hung up a little bit too long, but he hit it right on the screws.
I should be able to. I wish I knew how to work Baseball Savant a little bit better when I look at the website, because he has to have a higher expected batting average than he really has this year. Rengifo with the Brewers hitting 188. No homers, 2 RBIs so far on the year, an OPS of 548. And however, Brandon Lockridge has been off to a pretty solid start. 308 batting average with a 700 OPS. And David Hamilton, a guy who's getting on base at a 5.
So much.
I'm going to make David Hamilton happen as for sure this year. It's Wednesday. Hamilton happens. And I'm ready to see what he can do against his former club as well. It's a lot of, his first pitch is getting underway here between the Red Sox and the Brewers. They're wearing those blue tops, the gray bottoms here. I just want to see one of those guys come up with a big hit. 6 through 8. Those are today's keys to the game.
Is that baby blue or powder blue or what? Like, what is that? What is the name of that blue?
I'm going to say powder.
Did we just get a hit by Sal?
Yeah, that's our first
All
leg.
right, done.
First leg of the parlay.
By the way, I threw it in my app, so we actually are live today.
We are live
on it.
Ground rule double for Sal Frelick to lead things off.
Let's go.
That'll be a good time to wrap up the leadoff show here. Stick around. It'll be me and Mitch for the Mason Crosby
quick question
show.
for you.
Yes.
Bowers?
What about it?
Is he going to get one today?
Short right field, right? I mean,
if you
low
pull it
right field.
if you pull it right down the line, you
Yeah.
got to pull it right down the line.
What's it called? Pesky's pull?
Pesky's
pull. Okay.
Johnny Pesky.
Got it. Well, Mitch, let's do it again for another hour and a half here with the Mason Crosby show. All right.
I might only have an hour 15 in me.
Okay. Sounds good. Thing will be all right. It is the leadoff show. Tommy Wortz here with you live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. One more thing before you leave. Don't forget, send them home.